Hey everybody, my name is Splattercat and welcome to the next episode of our Towns LP. Where we had left off here in the city of Boo, we were building a hospital with a big old red H on the top so that our helicopters, well, if we had any helicopters, so that our super awesome townie helicopters wouldn't get lost when they came to pick up our citizens who tend to be pretty injured most of the time. So for the purposes of this episode, what I'd like our goals to be, I'd like to finish the hospital. I'd like to get it wrapped up since I said I was going to work on it in the last episode. We're going to get it knocked out this time, and once it's all finished up, I'd also like to go down to the next level of the dungeon. So let's also apply ourselves to that task. But before that, before that, we need to get ourselves set up with a nice little military force. So we're going to go to our soldier panel here. And we're going to take a look, and all we have is Tybalt Vernon, who has been a pretty bitchin' hero thus far, but he is not going to be satisfactory all by his lonesome in the future. So let's go ahead and run through our roster and take a look and see who we've got to assist him. So we've got Simon D. Endelli, so we're going to call him a soldier. And then we've also got the only other person without wooden gear, and I don't really think we're going to be able to protect ourselves with just our wood, is Mirabelle Rosai. Okay, so that's her name, so let's go ahead and convert her to a soldier as well. And we're going to run through the soldier menu real fast as just a little mini tutorial, a speedy type tutorial before we assign them to the farts, the first action reaction team, to defend our culture. So what we can do here is we can assign groups, which I already did, and what I'm going to do is I'm going to click this little tab right here to put everybody in the farts. There we go, so everybody's in the farts now. And they will be the first ones to react. They will be the first ones to take action and react whenever we need a team. And so what we want to do now is let's go through some of the options that our military group can have. So they can be a guards group. What that means is they just wander around until someone's attacked, and once somebody has suffered the wrath of some monster, they will come running, and usually that person gets killed, and then they avenge them. They're big ones for the vengeance if you put them in a guard group. They very rarely arrive in time. Patrol group is my favorite and allows you to right-click anywhere on the map and place a patrol point that they will all rally around for the duration of their hunger or sleep timers. And then boss around group allows them to run around freely throughout your society, just screaming at people, just generally hurling insults, making people feel foolish and just calling them all kinds of terrible names, depreciating them, just everything you can think of in order to make them work faster, but this does come at a happiness cost. So you want to use that sparingly if you're trying to expand your city. We're going to call them a patrol group for now. There we go. And let's delve down into the depths. Let's dig away. We're going to get diggy up in this episode and make sure that we get some things done. So let's pin open my little menu here, and what we'll do is we'll come back this way. Yes, just to make sure that I have that lined up properly. And then what I'd also like to do is come around, well, we'll wait and see what they do here, but I would like to place a scaffolding right there so that we have a potential escape route in case somebody gets trapped down in this little kind of 3-foot depth. Townies are not much for climbing. If it's much more than a few feet, they get intimidated, they start wetting themselves, and the whole thing just degenerates into madness. And so hopefully somebody places that scaffolding soon, because our amigo Simon Devandes is trapped down in here. There it is. Okay, and so now we have a way to get down to here. I'm not going to place the stairs just yet. We're going to keep this rudimentary at the moment. And let's mine out a little bit further. We're going to go all the way down this way, I think. And let's make sure that's lined up. It is not indeed. So let's get rid of that, and now it should be lined up. There we go. And so once this is all the way over, we'll go down to the next layer just as we went down here. And you always want to be careful when you're expanding down into the depths, because your townies have that strange ability to fall into holes and get themselves killed. And I apologize once again, Towns is being very, very crashy on me. In fact, I've tried to film this episode like twice now. And so I'm trying to keep an eye on it at this point, because losing a 20-minute playthrough, oh no. So let's remedy this problem as well. So we're going to have to come up with some kind of way for them to escape here, because our townies are clustered, they're in some kind of mess. Let's place ourselves a scaffolding there, and that should remedy the issue altogether. These guys should be able to come down here. These guys should be able to get up, and so forth. Now we're leaving ourselves a 4 square on the corner. So let's go ahead and dig down real fast. There we go. Diggy away. I'm going to press Z so that I can watch my own progress here and make sure that everything's okay. We're going to destroy that, and then we're going to put in another scaffolding just to make sure we don't fall down into the depths and die. This gentleman is, I guess, holding out on me for the time being. And what has happened over here? Okay, I just wanted to make sure this was still all lined up in a satisfactory manner, because I had this off-center, although I do have a messed up ladder right there. We have mismatching ladders. It's the dungeon of mismatching ladders, designed to throw OCD heroes just into a fit of rage. And there we go. No one can stop my mismatched ladders. And let's go ahead and we'll place, let's make sure nobody's trapped too. Okay, nobody's trapped at the moment. So we'll dig down one more time right there. We'll mine out this way, and then that should allow our heroes to have access to the lower levels. While we're waiting on that, you'll take a look up here, and you'll see that there is a sizable mountain that is now missing, an enormous mountain. That actually took a reasonable amount of time to get knocked out, but this is going to be the future site of our tavern, if you wanted to put the emphasis on an improper syllable. And how that's gonna work is, did we have a siege or anything? I felt like I feel a siege on the breeze. The hair on my neck is standing up. I'm getting, creaks in my joints. Anyways, I'm gonna put a fence around right here probably, and the tavern's probably gonna encompass this entire area. It's gonna be pretty big. It's gonna have like maybe 10 or 12 rooms so that we can start getting real heroes. We're gonna outfit them super nicely. We're gonna pimp it out like crazy so that people want to show up. It's gonna be like the Las Vegas Hilton. It's gonna be amazing. I've actually never stayed in the Las Vegas Hilton. I try to stay away from the old gamblomatic machines because I find myself just spending all kinds of money whenever I gamble. And the problem with that is mainly tied to the fact that you have to be good at gambling in order for that to work. I like to play blackjack, but I am not so bueno at it. I am actually quite terrible at it, and so I have learned just to avoid those temptations in life. And there, maybe if this connects to actual rooms, let's place a patrol point for the first action reaction team, and they will hopefully run down in here. Oh no! Hello, Westdemirnian. I don't even know how to pronounce your name. No. Hello, Westdemirnian. Don't get yourself killed. And so we'll remove that patrol point so that they run straight to this one. Hopefully they get here in time. If they don't, well, farewell, Hello, Westdemirnian. Yep, you are. I hate that noise so very, very, very much. You guys have no idea how much I hate the sound of my townies dying. It's a very frustrating noise. And I think they potentially made it as obnoxious as possible so that you would want to avoid it. What is that? An arachnid bow. It's got terrible attack and terrible damage, so I doubt that that will ever get equipped. And so now that that's been taken care of, we'll put our patrol point back over here. An unfortunate casualty in the line of duty, we will build her the first. That's actually what we've been waiting for anyway, so that will be the first tomb that will go in here. So let's go to our decorative menu and our outdoor decorative menu, and our first tomb-a-loom. Oh no. What happened here? How come the tombs won't place? Does it have to be on grass? That kind of sucks. Ah, well, what can you do about it? So I guess we'll destroy the white pavement and nobody will ever know the difference. And we'll get that placed right there, maybe? If it decides to. There we go. And we'll see what way it should face this way. So we should be perfectly fine. Nobody will ever know the difference. Shh, don't tell. If you don't, I won't. So, let's drop back down to this bottom level and make sure everything's going in a satisfactory way. Well, she's dead and stinky. That's unfortunate. The dead have an unfortunate tendency to be quite stinky after expiration, much like milk. And so that is the hypothesis upon which I base my foundation of my thesis, that people are made out of milk. I don't think I'll be receiving the PhD for that one, though. I may get denied roundly. And so we'll watch this battle unfold. Oh, the violence. Oh, the horror. The terror. The destruction. Isn't it the coolest thing you ever seen? You got people leaping over barrels, firing rounds at each other. Just a giant machine gun battle in the middle of here. And so, there we go. Pick up that corpse. I command you. And so she picks up the corpse and magically conjures it into a sarcophagus. And that's going to be the first one placed in our Hall of Heroes. The God Amok has claimed yet another soul. I'm not gonna take responsibility for that one. That one was Amok's fault. Sometimes I feel like it's my fault, but that one was definitely Amok. He was fiddling with my people, and as such, we have found one of our townies at an unfortunate end. And there we go, and that just looks hideously ugly. I hate the way that looks. That looks awful. Why can't I place that there? Well, I'll figure out a way to remedy that in the future, but that actually looks just awful. Developer, why have you done this to me? Well, we'll consider it later. I'm not going to stare at it. I was staring at it with a grimace, a less than happy grimace, kind of like the grimace you would expect someone to wear if they got their cheeseburger stolen. I don't know. Maybe you don't like a cheeseburger. Maybe you would be like, hooray, if your cheeseburger got stolen. But me, I fancy myself as a cheeseburger man, so, You know, my cheeseburger gets stolen, I'm usually in a pretty foul mood. And so the next thing that I would like to set myself to the task of is let's go back up to our hospital up here. And we'll place the next couple bricks, and then we're going to focus on getting a mining operation up and running because we need to get iron, we need to get some other nice things available to our town so that we can start outfitting everybody with, you know, iron armor and all that kind of cool stuff that I would like everybody to be outfitted with. So no matter what, if they catch themselves in a bit of a quandary, they can at least stab their way out of it because nothing solves a problem like a good, solid stabbing. And is anything interesting happening down here? I feel like this lair is going to be pretty well spread out, unfortunately, which means there's going to be less monsters and less things to occupy the heroes for the time being. So now, before we set up our mining operation, let's get rid of this wall right here. This wall, you go away. We don't like you, we don't need you, we don't want to look at you, we just want you gone as rapidly as possible. And once that wall has been removed, I hate losing members of my workforce. Right now I'm in a solemn state of sadness. Just remembrance for Helawes. Blah, 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 blah. I can't say her last name. Her last name was complicated. And so, Goblin Leader is getting tore up. Good, good, good. Looks like Tybalt Vernon and Simon Diandelli are holding it down right here. That was absolutely the goal when I placed the patrol point right there, as I wanted to keep things from getting kited back up into my city. We'll run into an issue. If we end up with a siege at this point, we'll run into an issue where it'll take them a moment to displace and find another spot to fight from. But we'll deal with that. We'll cross that bridge when it gets here. And so now that's out of the way. Let's start mining. Let's get mining down here. Now I think for the purposes of our mining operation, I would like to have all of this removed. So we'll go up here, and there is a nice little coal seam up here. And let's take a look around. We're going to engage in a little bit of geological voyeurism because the ore can't see us. You know, so we can just spy on it, look at all of its ore-y nudie bits, and just post videos on the internet like horrible, horrible human beings. We'll start wearing aviators and grow a mustache and generally just be sleazy. Not to imply that if you wear aviators and have a mustache that you're sleazy, but that's how I picture porn, guys. Aviators and mustaches are earth porn. Anyways, speaking of which, like, I don't know if you've noticed this trend on Imager or Imgur. I still don't know how to pronounce that website. I should probably look it up. But I hate it when people put sad posts up on Imgur or Imager. That's like the worst. Like, you go there for some yucks, for some laughs, and then all of a sudden they're like, this is a dog. He was frozen in an ice block after being viciously beaten by his master, who got done beating his children, who then went to remedial school, and you're just like, oh my god, this is the most depressing picture ever. And it's always just like it's always like a middle-aged lab with like a graying muzzle, a single tear running down the side of its face. Sarah McGloogly-Glue. Sarah McLaughlin. I always call her Sarah McGloogly-Glynn because that's what her name is spelled like. She's in the background just like humming that sad song from that ASPCA commercial, which, by the way, give the guy a raise that thought of that commercial because everybody that sees that thing is just depressed out of their minds. And there's our siege. I knew it. And so let's go check out our siege here. Hopefully it's nothing too ridiculous. It's just slimes. I don't even know if I want to like reassign guards for just this tiny slime invasion. It doesn't appear to be anything threatening to our society. Now if these expand out and become like 600 slimes, then there will be definitely a problem to address. But for now we're just going to sweep it under the rug and not think about it, because that's how we deal with problems here. That's how we deal with bureaucratic organization here in Boo. Sweep it under the rug and don't think about it. We share that with most governments. Just, you know, we'll worry about it when it's right up on top of us. And so, as soon as this is out of the way, we're going to build ourselves a couple of mines. Let me take a look at the supplies I have. We're going to need torches, and we're going to need iron. So I think torches are maybe under utilities over here. And there it is. We have 0. We have 0 for the time being. We have absolute nothing. So let's go ahead and make ourselves, 10 at a time. I doubt that I have the coal for that. It takes coal to make these torches. So let's look at our raw materials. Not raw food. You can't eat coal. Oh, we got 19 coal. Good. We got plenty of coal for this endeavor. And so once we've got our coal rounded out, we'll get enough torches to get moving. And we'll go to our building menu and let's get some mines going. So there's our first one right here. There we go. And our second run right there. And we'll destroy some of this goblinite, some of this refuse from past battles. We'll place the next one right there and the final one right there, and 4 coal mines should keep us stocked and ready to roll for now. Ready to roll out with our coal out. So once that's all taken care of, that'll leave us with enough iron for a few iron mines over here. So there we go. We'll put you in right there. We'll put you in right there. Maybe one right there. 4 iron shafts should be fine for now. We'll get our shaft out and just take care of business. Because you can't arrest me, I'm the mayor. We can put our shaft out wherever we please. And on this next layer down here, nothing appears to be awry. Nothing appears to be out of order. Everything appears to be working as intended, which is fantastical. No unforeseen circumstances just wiping out townies like crazy. I will check on those slimes, though, for just a moment. Let's check on our... Oh, no! Did they kill another citizen? Are you serious? How are you gonna get killed by a slime, you idiots? Like, how does that happen? Maybe that was the one who got killed. Yeah, it was. I can't do simple math. Arithmetic escapes me. I could talk for days on end, but wait, no. I can count! Ha-ha! I can count. It's not my fault. I'm good at counting. My kindergarten teacher was wrong. And so let's place the next one. I don't like the way that this is turning out. I really, really don't. So I may have to convert this to some kind of open air area. And so I guess I'll destroy my road there for now. Let's go to our outdoor decorations. On the plus side, if you really want to put a positive spin on this, at least people are dying so that we can put sarcophagi in our altar to Amok. I mean, you gotta look at the brighter side. The ant can't move the rubber tree plant until we have ourselves in a positive state of mind. So we'll get this little stinker out of the way. You are no longer a person to me, or you are now a stinker. That is from now on, that is the designation that I give all dead townies. They are no longer townies, they are stinkers. And we could probably fit a few more mines in right here, so I'll keep that in mind for the future. I'll keep that in mind. Anyways, God, that was awful. I got that overarching feeling of guilt right now that you get when you pop off just the worst type of pun, just the most simplistic, awful form of pun imaginable. And so now that we've got mines in order, these are still red X'd out, which means they aren't functioning to the level we'd like, but hopefully they'll be ready to roll in just a moment. So let's place the last couple blocks in our mine while we're on the subject. There we go. I'm sorry, not in our mine, in our hospital. This isn't a mine, unless you're mining for injury, I guess, or mining for lawsuits. One or the other. But once that's in place, we'll have our super sweet hospital with its designation H so that everybody knows exactly what it's for. And I was gonna try and make a preparation H joke there, but it just didn't work. I didn't want to force it. I felt like it would be through my teeth, and that's never how you want to deliver a joke. And pardon me while I save myself from my town's copy. Watch, every time I try and do this on camera, it'll be perfectly fine. How many corpses did we lose? God, you guys are just killing me right now. Well, you're killing yourselves. This is not my fault. How many... Are there more slimes? Did more come around? Anyways, we're gonna have to replenish our stock of citizens here before the next episode, but water under the bridge at this point. There's no point weeping and moaning and crying about it. We'll at least put in a couple more sarcophagi, get everything looking nice and somewhat symmetrical. I don't know if it'll look symmetrical until we get the whole thing filled out. Our townies are like, no, don't fill out the altar to Amok. Leave it empty. But onward with the plan, I say. We're gonna fill this bastard up as quickly as possible. Now, I know I haven't worked on this just yet. That's because my overarching vision for what I wanted this to be is not coming together quite like I would like. I may tear a bit of it down and then we may continue in the future, but for now, we'll just leave it sitting there. And now that my workforce has been culled quite a bit, let that be a warning to you, townies. If you get in my way and you do stupid stuff, I will let you die. I will not reassign the farts to come save you. And so let's get, I guess we'll place staircases now. So we'll get rid of that stone. We'll go to our utilities menu. We'll drop another stone ladder there. And yep, my ladders are still mismatched, unfortunately. And so all of my OCD heroes have eye twinges and they're just, they're unhappy. I've received several letters of complaint from members of my adventuring community like, the stairs don't match over here. I stubbed my toe, I kicked my toenail off. I did that the other day, by the way. I kicked my toenail off and it was, it wasn't excruciating, but there's definitely that moment, like, whenever you suffer like an injury, like if you've ever broken your thumb and it's been like bent out, or you've knocked it out of socket and it's like bent the wrong direction, you know that when that happens, you've got about like 10 seconds of peace and quiet where it doesn't hurt yet. Like your body is still like, oh my God, that just happened. And you look at your hand, or in my case, you look at your toe and you see what's wrong with it, and you're like, oh my God, this is gonna hurt so very much in like 10 minutes. And I really wish that I had been more careful. And so I forgot what brought that up, but yeah, I did that. And rest assured, it wasn't as painful as you would assume it would be, but it was still definitely unpleasant. I had to go to the doctor, and the doctor was like, how in the hell did you do this? and I had to give him, I did it stepping out of the bathtub, surprise, like, strangely enough, stepping out of the bathtub. You wouldn't think that you could wound yourself severely stepping out of a bathtub, but Splattercat has somehow managed. So that being said, we didn't get a whole lot done this episode, but we are down onto the next floor. I think I'm going to keep this one short for the time being. My name is Splattercat. Thank you for joining me here in the township of Boo. We've got, oh, I thought everybody paused for a second because all my guards were on duty. Anyways, the township of Boo is thriving, surviving, and multiplying, so we're going to try and get some citizens back before the next episode. I hope you enjoyed this little iteration of our Towns LP. I hope you'll join me next time, and I'll see you out there. Take care, everybody.